If you are someone who has thought 9 to 5 and climbing the corporate ladder is the best way to financial success, then this is the episode for you. We interview Amanda Larson, who grew up believing that. She found network marketing, changed her mind, changed her future, and now has total freedom. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Sherry.
And I'm Kim.
And we are so excited for today's episode because we are going to be talking to one of my favorite people, Amanda Larson. Amanda and I met, I want to say, a little over 7 years ago through a networking event, and we instantly hit it off. And at the time, we'll share a little bit more about how we met and how things progressed, but she was considering network marketing. She was in an IT company, and I'm going to let you share all about your background. And I was already in network marketing. We just had some great conversations, and happy to say that Amanda was able to kiss corporate goodbye and is now following her passions, and network marketing has been that vehicle. I'm going to let Kim give you a proper introduction.
So welcome, Amanda. And Amanda is a top leader in network marketing. In 7 years, she has risen to the top of not one, but 2 separate companies, served on her global advisory board with the first company, earned numerous trips, including one to the Super Bowl. She's been able to build multi-million-dollar organizations and lead teams to find themselves, their passions, their value, and really give them an outlet for creativity and to create a community. She's got a bachelor's, a master's in education, and a culinary background. So we'll have to talk about that. And really, none of those credentials, surprise, surprise, helped her in corporate America. She was passed over, unbelievable, for multiple promotions, and finally had that point where enough was enough. So she took success into her own hands, wanting to create choice and freedom and to get paid what she's worth and live a life by design. So all of those things, she's been able to buy into a business as well as start and publish a women's collective. And her choice to really take network marketing was the path that really gave her everything that she was looking for in life to grow with purpose and connection. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And Sherry is one of my favorite people too. So I'm so blessed that she invited me to be on your guys' podcast.
Well, we are happy to have you here. And I would just love for you to share a little bit about your background. I mean, Kim gave you a brief bio, but let's start with, you graduated, you got your master's, you had the credentials, and then you went into IT.
Yeah.
Or you probably had other things before that, but when I met you, you were in IT. So maybe share your corporate journey and what led you to the breaking point.
Okay. So yes, you are right. I got my bachelor's, I got my master's. I thought I wanted to be a corporate trainer and work my way up. And I applied and applied and applied for so many positions. And sometimes, it's a game of favorites or who you know. And I guess I didn't know the right people because I kept getting passed over. I had, joined a company and created a massive amount of income for this company and revenue. And it was a boys club. So I thought I would be there forever and turned 30 and found myself jobless. So I picked up the first job where I felt like it was good enough money, the commission structure was there, and it was not what I wanted. And around that same time, I did my very first online party for someone. And I didn't even really know this person. She was a sister of a friend, and she just kept kind of hounding me and asking me and following up with me about joining her in this opportunity. And finally I said yes, because I was in a position and place. I knew it wasn't for me. Like I knew selling IT services is like not a fun thing. I'm an Enneagram 7. I like the fun and adventure side of life. And it definitely was not that. And that is around the time I met Sherry. So I was networking and trying to meet all these people for my business, for the sales position I was in, and ended up kind of finding this new route and this new passion that I always say like network marketing is for you, especially when you have that until moment. Like we all have an until moment. Like it's not for me until, X, Y, or Z happens. And it took my husband saying, if you can replace your income, you can quit. And I was like, the bells and whistles went off. Like, okay, this has to be my way out. Like, I don't even know. I felt like, mid-30s, you're not going through midlife crisis, but I kind of felt like it was that way. And I'm like, this is my way. This is my way out. So it took me about 2 years to replace my income at that company. And I got to walk in confidently and say, that pyramid thing that you always call it, I'm leaving this position for that. And it felt really, really amazing to be able to kind of take life by the reins and not wake up to an alarm clock and not commute anymore, and not go on, we call them disappointments in my house, like instead of appointments, they were a disappointment. So it's been really amazing, and it's just gotten better. So
I love that. And I think, I had a lot of until moments too, where it was finally like, okay, until like, I just can't be a part of this culture and this, working so many hours for somebody else. And, it was funny because you said that you went in and quit because that little business, that little side hustle. And I did the same thing. I was able to go in and shock my boss because I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. And they were like, what? And, I think that moment that many of us fantasize about, that I quit my job moment, both you and I, we stayed working full time while we built our side hustle until our side hustle could replace our income. That was me, and that was my story too. Was there anything else that was really your until moment that you said, okay, I'm going to 100% go into this on the side? And as you were doing it, what were some of the challenges? Like for me, I was tired, right? Because I'm working a full-time job. And I was like, I'm just going to commit to being tired for 6 months. But what were some of like the challenges that you face, building your side hustle alongside with your full-time job?
That's a great question. I feel like prioritizing, that time management aspect, the holding your belief and your vision, near and dear to your heart, and figuring out what that looks like, because I had never done that. I was always taught to be an employee, never to be a business owner. My grandpa is an amazing entrepreneur. But I think he struggled, right? As entrepreneurs kind of ride the wave. And my dad was always the go to college, work your way up, have insurance, have a 401k, and all of those things. Like I was taught to be an employee. So it was really for me, and Sherry knows this also well, because I would come to her and be like, I just feel like this isn't my passion. Like this isn't for me, is figuring out like how to dream again and how to have that big vision and how to figure out like what is important to me. And something sticks out for me. In my first company, one of the leaders said to me, she said, I love that I never have to wake up to an alarm clock. And I was like, that's it. It's like the smallest thing, but that was my first goal. I'm like, I just want to be able to wake up when I wake up. I'm more creative at night. I'm not necessarily a morning person. I'm trying to be. But I really try to work with my creative flow and whenever that time is. And I love not waking up to an alarm clock. I still do. When I have to set it, it's like usually for travel. But the time management piece, I think, is huge. Not putting the cart before the horse, as far as like income goes. I see some people quitting before they necessarily have that means there. And then it's more stressful. And then I feel like they build or they share out of more of a scarcity mindset because they need, X, Y, and Z to survive. And so it makes it about them and not the other person. And I really feel like I found a lot of success in this industry because I do have a servant heart. It's about what is best for the person, whether it's for a reason, the season, or a lifetime, and helping them, wherever they're at.
I love that. And especially not quitting before you have a plan. Kim did the same thing. It's like, okay, I need to be replacing my income for a certain amount of months before I do that. And, that's one of the things that we want to, reiterate on this podcast, we're not saying kiss corporate goodbye and do network marketing. We're saying do network marketing and then kiss corporate goodbye. And so just wanted to throw that out there as well. And when you were getting ready to, make that transition, what kind of fears or maybe even misconceptions did you have for, leaving the security? Well, some people say it's security. I don't necessarily think having a corporate job is secure, but leaving a paycheck, leaving benefits, leaving that type of thing, jumping into network marketing really as a career.
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like now more than ever, with just all of the craziness in the season of life we're all in right now, it really goes back to, it's not when you quit corporate, but it's sometimes when corporate quits you. And so I really feel like now more than ever, having that side hustle for some is just a side hustle, and leaving the corporate or quitting, the 9 to 5 might be for them like going part-time, or just having the flexibility to say, this is what I need to stay. If you value me, this is, you'll give in to my needs as well. But having that just padding, so to speak, to where if your company quits you, that you aren't totally out of luck in life and just scrambling. So it's definitely something where you need to plan. And I think it's okay to know that it takes time. Like so many mentors have said, think about it like a 4-year education. I have 6 years of college. And if I invest 6 years in network marketing, which I have, you continue to grow. And I feel like every company that you're with, or every season of life that you're in any side hustle, you learn. And if you can learn from that experience, you're going to be better on the other side.
I think it's so important to know, for some people, it's just going to be that supplemental income. For others, you might want replacement income. And then for others, it might turn into that lifestyle income. For you, when did you kind of know, like, oh, wait, I think I can really replace my income. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Was there something that happened? Because a lot of times, your first paychecks aren't these paychecks that you're going, whew, I made the right decision. My first paycheck, I think, was $23. And I looked at Sharon like, I don't know what we're doing here, And so, what was sort of this point where you're like, okay, I see a pathway to replace my income and I'm willing to put in a year or 2 years? What kind of hit you that enabled you to really believe that it was possible?
I think for me, it was fun. And I really loved that aspect of people say, find something you're great at, find something you love and you do for free. And that will be joyful forever. And I think that was part of it. So it was, I think for me, more than just the money, but also I want to say it was probably a couple months in, we were growing like crazy. And I thought to myself, I'm really good at this. I'm really good at hanging out with women and pouring into them and giving them compliments and really empowering them to feel unstuck. That's been my big thing. I never want someone to be stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job, not being paid their worth, not being, paid their value at home, whatever that looks like. And so I'm like, this is the vehicle. This could do that.
I love that.
So did you have any fears doing that when you left corporate?
I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like if you don't, then you're just like Wonder Woman. There's ebbs and flows in network marketing, and I quit in August. And so of course the flow was the busiest season in network marketing. I'm like, this is amazing. I got this. And then it wasn't my first January, but it was my first January where I was relying on that income. I'm like, I still got this, I think. So, there is the fear of the almost worth, am I worth being able to live this life of freedom or live this life by design? I'm lucky that I have a second income in my house. It would be a lot harder, I think, if I was a single mom staying at home. There'd be a lot more riding on me. So the fear wise around will we make it wasn't necessarily the big fear. I think just because we're human, and I think women, we want to belong. And it's, well, what if I can't make it to the top? Or what if, I quit my job and it's so amazing and then I fail, or it's not what I thought it was going to be, or what are my friends going to think, kind of a thing. I think those are all somewhat normal because of society and what society says. But I am proud to say that I'm a network marketer, and I'm proud to say that, yes, I sell. Sure, I share what I love and it's word of mouth, but we sell every day. So the stigma around why it's weird with network marketing confuses me, but I sold college educations in the past. That wasn't weird. I was kind of praised for it, by friends and family. So now, I just am selling something else. So I think
one of the things that, I we always talk about you're selling all the time, even, whether it's your kids are selling, somebody's selling something or somebody's buying something, right? It's just the way it is. So you've trained and built lots of teams and brought a lot of people to like the top of the company with you. And one of the things that Sherry and I love about this industry is it is an even level playing field where it doesn't matter what your background or your age. But what are some of the things that you see as like a common denominator for somebody to be able to really quit corporate, use this as that vehicle and that pathway, and really be successful?
Yeah, I think grit and hustle. I think also, like when I think gritty, I think you're able to hear 1,000 no's and you let it stop you for like a millisecond. And then you get up and you keep going because your why and your vision is big enough. And there's more than 1,000 people out there. And surely someone is going to say yes to you. I really feel like that is the difference in the people who find success and the people who don't. I also think one of the common denominators is authenticity. And I kind of feel like that's an overused word in 2020, but just really, being passionate and selling, but not being like used car salesman, kick the tire on the way out salesperson, doing it in a way that feels really great for you, really truly being that like servant leader, I think is the big difference in retention, of customers and builders, and creating that culture and community that you want.
And I think, just going back to what you said about servant leadership, I think so many people misunderstand network marketing for selling and don't realize that in reality, it truly is servant leadership. I mean, this is the one type of profession or industry that you get paid to bring other people to the top with you. That doesn't happen in corporate America. And it truly isn't necessarily for the faint of heart who don't want to hear the no's, but it certainly is for those that have a servant heart. And I think you said that so well.
Sherry and I we did a podcast last week or whatever episode, but we did it on things that surprised us, and that surprised us in a good way. Like we were surprised about that we needed and loved the personal growth. We were surprised that we liked the recognition. We were surprised that we liked that sense of community and purpose. What are some of the things that really surprised you about this industry? When you looked at your corporate, when you look at this industry, what are some of the good surprises for you?
Gosh, I've always, when I moved to Arizona 11 years ago, I told my husband, I said, it's just really hard to meet good quality women when you're in your, late 20s, early 30s. Because surely most of the time they're going to be people you work with, and then you don't always want to bring work friends, into your personal life, in corporate America at least. And so I think the really amazing thing was, I think I said it to him a couple of times, like a year, probably even 6 months into network marketing, is I just can't believe how many amazing women there are. Like I'm talking to women every day, all day, and I just love it. I feel like I found my tribe, whether it's, like I said, for a reason, a season for them, or lifetime. But I feel like just the quality of friendships, like I truly have found some of my best friends, and they're usually never financially connected to me, which is fun. And it's just kind of, like you said, the growth. I thought, I love learning. I feel like I'm a forever student, but I never thought I would do so much, like continue to do so much, but I feel like I love who I'm becoming through this industry. I love where I've come from just in the last 6, almost 7 years. And it's just really refreshing to know that there's people out there that aren't financially connected to you, that want to see you succeed almost as much as the people who are financially connected to you. And like Sherry said, it's amazing and it's surprising that you get to make money together, not off your friends, but with your friends. And I think it makes it more fun. Like I always say, I love that my business besties put the fun in funds, because it's true. Like it's not a weird thing in network marketing. I love it.
I love that answer, especially because we're in different companies and we still have a great relationship. And I love being able to cheer you on. And I know you feel the same way. And it's nice not to have that, competition, I guess, that so many professions have. So I love that. And I also love that you've been able to, take what you've been able to achieve with network marketing, some of the financial freedom, some of the time freedom. And you actually started 2 other businesses or bought into business. And I would love for you to share kind of what provoked you to do that, but also maybe share the differences between having a more traditional type business versus network marketing, because I know there are a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs and they're thinking, do I start a business? Do I start a franchise? Do I do network marketing? There's lots of options out there. So from somebody who went the traditional route and was brought up to go the traditional route to doing network marketing, to doing a more traditional type business, if you can kind of share your experiences with that, I'd love to hear that.
I think I was like 3 years into my company and I'm like, I'm kind of good where I'm at, like income wise and growth wise. And I feel like I found this balance of time management. I think I want to try to, own my own business. I thought like having employees would be so great and just having something more brick and mortar. And I think there was still at that time some subconscious thought in the back of my mind, like I would be owning a real business, whereas my network marketing wasn't. Like looking back, that's obviously not true, but I think that was a limiting belief that I had. So for me, I bought into a business. It was a licensing program, so similar to a franchise. It was $10,000, so it wasn't cheap. It wasn't the price of most starter packs or the most price of buying products or using your overhead or whatever that looks like in the different companies out there. It was a lot. And it was, similar, I would say similar rules and regulations, as there are in network marketing. I had some guidelines to follow. It was a lot of work. So when I went into it, I thought, I verbalized, it's going to be so great not having this volunteer army of people who are building this business alongside of me. I'm going to have employees. Come to find out, it's really difficult sometimes in this day and age to find quality people where you don't feel like you're herding cats all the time and trying to manage people. I had 10 employees, and if someone didn't go to work, I still had an obligation to my clients. So I would be going regardless of what my day looked like. So it was flipping things upside down, waking up to an alarm clock sometimes, and going and serving the client, because that's what I had agreed to. I ran that business with integrity, just like I do my network marketing business. So I quickly found out that it's not for me. I think the biggest difference is the serving part was there. I could not imagine trading my time for money for the rest of my life in this business. And I'm sure I could grow it to a place where I could have people kind of managing things for me. But the hard part for me was just doing all the things. Like in network marketing, we have it amazing. We have, an accounting office that pays us and they make sure that our clients' cards go through. And if they don't, or they handle returns, we have customer service who handles all of the complaints, and unhappy customers or happy customers. We have people shipping products. We have people who are deciding like what the next campaigns are going to be and marketing. And I was doing all of that in that business. And so, yes, it's glamorous to be a business owner. Entrepreneurship is amazing, but it is not, like you said at the beginning, for the faint of heart. And there's a lot of cost and there's a lot of time. And I think you have to decide what is worth, like, what's it worth to you? What's your time and money? Like, what value do you place on your life today? And is it going to be where you want it to be 5 years from now? And I couldn't see it with that business. So network marketing allowed me the freedom to be able to walk away.
I had really the same experience because my husband, I was able to retire him through network marketing, and then we opened a brick and mortar business. And I know at the time it was kind of, glamorous for him because it was, I'm a business owner, and there is something about that entrepreneurship, but the same exact thing, all of a sudden, what people don't realize is when we say trading time for money, it's when you own your own business, you are there or thinking about it like 24/7. You're thinking about the marketing, the systems, the payroll. And my husband used to always say, everybody's getting paid but us. And there are so many things that we had to figure out. And I think the beauty of network marketing is everything's already figured out for you. So you get to do the fun stuff. You get to do the sharing and the talking to people and casting that vision and empowering instead of trading your time for money. And I think that concept, people don't understand that when you build a network of people who are shopping, you're building this leverage, and you can not have to worry about all those other things and still get paid. And I think that, to me, that was like my biggest lesson in network marketing, the being able to leverage your time so you weren't trading the time for money. And as much fun as we had building that business, the hours and the cost of doing business, 10 years later, we're still paying for it, right? But because of network marketing, it was nice to have that extra stream of income to be able to have those choices. And I think that's the most important thing. And you said it earlier, to have another stream of income gives you choices.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like without choice, you feel stuck. And to just be able to have the choice to make the decision if you want to go that route, great. And if you don't, you don't have to. I think the have word is like so prevalent, in today's day and age. Like, I have to go to work, I have to commute, I have to do this, but I get to choose to want to get up early, or to want to stay up late, or to want to, host a training call at 6:30 in the morning because that's when people are available. That's a choice that I get to make. And that for me is huge.
And I know one of the other big choices is you can decide, having financial freedom allows you to not only pay your own bills, but to be of service to other people. And I know it can fuel a lot of charities. It can fuel a lot of passions. I think network marketing is one of the biggest professions that actually gives back. There's so many companies that have charitable foundations, and I know you have some passions and love to give back too. And is that something that came from network marketing, or was that instilled when you were in corporate America?
So I feel like a lot of the companies I worked with in corporate America were really great about volunteering quarterly. There are some, regardless if they're a larger corporation or smaller, most of them did do a give back. For me, it's the whole like women empowerment and the serving factor. So there's some great charities here in Phoenix. So every year I would put on almost like a drive to be able to put together Christmas presents for homeless women because their kids were taken care of through this organization, but they were often left out. So, it was simple. It was going to the dollar store and getting some fuzzy socks and some hair, like some bobby pins and hair ties and Sudoku books, and just really simplistic things, but things that they often don't get. And are things that they probably wouldn't spend the extra money on if they had it. So it's amazing to be able to give back, and even if it's just time. So I feel like a lot of what I do also is give back to women who are looking to start their own business, giving back to women who are maybe a little bit younger, maybe not as seasoned in life, in business, and just really being able to provide some feedback and some value. Because like Sherry, you're amazing. And when I met you, you were so willing to provide so much value. And it was never I never felt like it was well, I'm going to provide value to you because one day I know that you're going to join my company. It was, I'm going to provide value to you because here you are, and I can look in your eyes and see that you are like a lost little puppy, and you totally wanted to help. And so I 100% appreciate that.
Well, and my goodness, how much you have grown over the last 7 years. And I know at the beginning we talked about doing a passion test, and that's really something that Kim and I love to facilitate and help people with, because truly when we're in a corporate job, even if we're passionate about it, we spend so much time working, and it's so important to know what those passions are. And you were able to identify that at such an early age. I mean, Kim and I were much older when we found our passion and really found network marketing as a way to achieve that passion. And I would say for all the young women and men out there who are struggling to find what their passion are, reach out to Kim or I. We can do the same, type of process that I think it's so simple, but it's so profound. When you really realize that you're not where you thought you wanted to be, and you can make those shifts, your whole life can change. And I just want to, one of the questions we always ask everyone is, how has your life changed for the better because of network marketing? I mean, you've shared a lot, but if you could kind of summarize how your life has changed over the, at least last 7 years since I've known you and since you've been in network marketing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously a lot of the great things, right? Like I've taken trips to places I never would have been able to afford or never been able to go on. Like Super Bowl would never be something on my bucket list, but it was something that I was able to participate in. But it's beyond the, I call it the glamour of network marketing. I think really my life has changed in just finding out, and I still feel like I am, but figuring out who I am at the core, like what makes me tick, what are things that absolutely bring me joy, what does no longer serve me, and being okay with letting those things go. And then in my business, being able to figure out who can I lean on, who's really great at something that I'm not, and I don't really care to be great at that, so that we can really utilize our strengths and weaknesses. That's not something that you ever think about in corporate America. You're thinking about, you're holding on to everything so that you get that promotion because you know more or whatever than, Susie sitting next to you. So I just really think that it's created a better relationship in my marriage. It's created amazing friendships and just allowed me to, I really love at the end of the day, and I love not having to call a boss and say, hey, I'm going to take Friday morning off because I need to help my husband with something. Is that okay? It's just, it's that true freedom, the freedom to be able to just live however I want to. If I want to wear jean shorts to work, I'm going to wear jean shorts. Or if I, it's like the simple things. If I want to work by the pool, I'm going to work by the pool and adjust my day accordingly. So I say network marketing is an amazing industry, whether you want it to be your full-time everything, or it's just like you said earlier to Sherry about just that supplemental income to have as an emergency, for emergency, or to be able to pay things off faster. It's awesome.
I love that. And I think the most misunderstood thing about network marketing is exactly what you said. It really gives you that space and the environment to really become the best version of yourself. So I'm so happy to have been able to hear your story and meet you and get inspired by you. I feel all fired up now to go call my team and just kind of love on them. So thank you so much for sharing, and we wish you nothing but love and continued success.
Thanks so much, ladies.
Thanks so much, Amanda.